Have you ever felt like something's missing inside you? A kind of emptiness you can't quite explain. You may have had a stable home, food to eat, and your basic needs met, but still felt unseen or unheard on a deeper level. If that resonates with you, it might be a sign of early emotional neglect. Emotional neglect is subtle. It leaves no bruises or dramatic memories, yet it can shape the way a person sees themselves and others for years, even decades. This article explores what emotional neglect is, how it affects us long-term, and what can be done to heal from it. What is emotional neglect? Emotional neglect is not about what was done to a child, but rather what was not done. It's the absence of emotional attention and validation from caregivers during crucial developmental years. While physical neglect and abuse are more visible and more widely acknowledged, emotional neglect can be just as damaging, though it often goes unnoticed. A child might grow up with food, clothing, and shelter, but without emotional connection. Their feelings may have been dismissed, their achievements ignored, or their distress brushed off. Parents may have been physically present but emotionally unavailable, too busy, stressed, distracted, or emotionally unaware themselves. Examples of emotional neglect include ignoring a child when they're upset or in need of comfort, dismissing their emotions as overreacting or being too sensitive, failing to provide praise, encouragement, or emotional warmth, prioritizing tasks, rules, or image over emotional connection, expecting the child to act like a small adult or be emotionally self-sufficient. Because emotional neglect is often invisible and unintentional, many people don't even realize it happened to them. They just carry the lingering effects. How emotional neglect affects adults. Adults who experienced emotional neglect often struggle in ways that don't seem to have a clear cause. They may feel hollow, disconnected, or emotionally numb without knowing why. These effects can influence every aspect of life, from relationships and career to self-esteem and personal growth. 1. Difficulty understanding emotions. Emotionally neglected individuals often struggle to identify what they're feeling. They may feel numb, disconnected, or overwhelmed by even mild emotions. They were never taught how to name or process feelings, so now they don't know where to begin. 2. Low self-esteem and self-worth. A child who doesn't receive emotional validation may internalize the idea that their emotions, or they themselves, don't matter. As adults, this can manifest as chronic self-doubt, imposter syndrome, or the belief that they are fundamentally flawed. 3. People-pleasing and weak boundaries. To win love or approval, emotionally neglected children often learn to suppress their needs. As adults, this can look like people-pleasing, codependency, or a deep discomfort with asserting themselves. 4. Fear of vulnerability and dependence. Being emotionally self-sufficient may feel like a badge of honor, but it can also be a defense mechanism. Many emotionally neglected people fear leaning on others, even when they desperately want connection. 5. Difficulty with intimacy and trust. Relationships can feel confusing or unsafe. Someone may crave closeness but sabotage it, or they may isolate themselves without knowing why. Trust and intimacy require emotional fluency, and without it, connection becomes difficult. These patterns are not signs of weakness or personality flaws. They are the predictable results of emotional needs that went unmet for too long. Why emotional neglect often goes unrecognized. What makes emotional neglect so insidious is its invisibility. There's no event to point to, no single moment that clearly explains the wound. Many people who experienced it have a hard time understanding why they feel the way they do. They might remember a peaceful, conflict-free home and wonder why they still feel disconnected or anxious in relationships. They might struggle with depression or chronic emptiness without realizing it's linked to their childhood. They may even believe they had a good upbringing, because emotional neglect is not always dramatic or obvious. That's why awareness is the first and most powerful step toward healing. What childhood environments can cause emotional neglect? Emotional neglect can happen in a variety of family situations, even in homes that seem functional or loving on the surface. Here are some common dynamics that often lead to emotional neglect. 1. Emotionally unavailable parents. Parents dealing with depression, anxiety, trauma, or addiction may not have the capacity to tune in emotionally to their children. 2. High-functioning but emotionally cold homes. In some families, academic success, achievement, or outward appearances are prioritized over emotional connection. Children may learn that feelings are a distraction or a weakness. 3. Tough love, or stoic parenting. Parents who believe in discipline and independence over emotional nurturing may withhold affection, thinking it's for the child's own good. 4. Homes with illness or dysfunction. If a parent is sick, mentally unwell, or struggling with substance abuse, the child's emotional needs may take a backseat to crisis management. 5. Intergenerational neglect. Sometimes emotional neglect is passed down unconsciously. Parents who were never emotionally nurtured themselves may not know how to provide it to their children. These environments aren't always abusive. In fact, many parents were doing their best. But good intentions don't erase the impact of emotional neglect. Healing from emotional neglect. The good news is that healing is entirely possible. While emotional neglect leaves deep marks, it also opens the door to profound personal growth. Healing isn't about blaming the past, it's about reclaiming what was missing. Here are some steps to begin that journey. 1. Develop emotional awareness. Start by tuning into your emotions daily. Ask yourself simple questions like, what am I feeling right now? Or, what do I need? Journaling, mindfulness, and using emotion wheels can help. 2. Practice self-compassion. The inner critic is often loud in emotionally neglected adults. Instead, try to speak to yourself with the gentleness and encouragement you might offer a child. 3. Set and respect boundaries. Learn to say no. Recognize your right to have needs and preferences. Boundaries are not selfish, they're self-respect. 4. Seek therapy or support. Working with a therapist, especially one familiar with childhood trauma and emotional neglect, can help you make sense of your experiences and build healthier patterns. 5. Reparent your inner child. Reconnect with the younger version of yourself who needed love and validation. Offer them the comfort they didn't receive. Inner child work can be powerful and healing. 6. Surround yourself with safe people. Healing in isolation is difficult. Seek relationships that feel emotionally safe and supportive. You deserve to be seen and valued for who you are. You are not alone. If you recognize yourself in this article, know this: you're not broken. You're not overreacting, and you're definitely not alone. Millions of people carry the quiet burden of emotional neglect. Many are high-functioning on the outside, while silently battling disconnection and self-doubt. The journey to healing begins with understanding, and from there, change becomes possible. Your feelings matter, your story matters, and even if you weren't emotionally nurtured as a child, you can learn to nurture yourself now. If this article resonated with you, consider sharing it with someone who might benefit too. And if you'd like more content like this, be sure to like, share, and subscribe to stay connected. You deserve healing, you deserve support, and you deserve to feel whole.